Welcome back, everybody, to
As you did whatever the heck that was. I heard like cheering from downstairs. My my fiance right now is screaming at the cat. She's meowing at the cat. She's going meow. Meow. Yes, love.
Welcome to the Garlic Boys podcast, where we treat friendship like a good recipe treats garlic. You can never have too much of it. We're your hosts. I'm Connor O'Connor.
And I'm so freaking sore. You have absolutely no idea. And it's not the good sore like you were feeling last week. It's not the I accomplished something, so I'm not sore anymore. It's the I'm in so much pain. I didn't even
Did
work
you hurt
out.
yourself sleeping?
So yeah, it started off that way. Like I literally woke up and I'm like, what is this? My back hurts so bad. And then I built probably 3/4 of a giant Costco playhouse today with my dad and my brother-in-law. It includes an entire like tower, I guess, a 2-leveled tower that has like a rock wall on the back. It's got a big swirly slide and it's got like a straight slide. It's got like an underneath where it'll have like a door and everything, like that the kids can go underneath. It's got swing sets, so like 2 swings plus one of those like bars that go like usually in between the swings, like the little hanging bars. I don't know what they're called. Like the gymnastics bars kind of thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then it'll have a lot like a third upper loft above the swing set. Dude, this thing is huge, ginormous, and it took us from 10 a.m. to like 6 p.m. to build just what we built, and that's like a third of it. So yeah, it was a lot of kneeling and bending over and crouching, and just everything hurts. My knees hurt, my back hurts. I'm starting to sound like my father. How are you feeling? Are you
That sounds tough, bud.
Yeah.
Not to almost try and one up you, but I've had a migraine for the last like 3 to 4 days.
Oh,
And
not good.
what's stupid is I think it's just because I'm sleeping wrong. Like
Okay.
I think it's my pillows, and it's so annoying because like it's starting out as a tension headache, and I feel like it started out right here in the back of my head, and it just keeps radiating forward and forward and forward, like, and the light sensitivity, the noise sensitivity, and my job does not help with either of those two factors.
Right. You
So
need one of them cervical pillows.
probably. I don't know if cervical is what you mean, actually.
No, it actually is. I thought it wasn't, but I looked it up. It's not cervix, it is cervical, because cervical indirectly helps with your lower back, which is located around your cervix, which is why I assume it's called a cervical pillow. But it is in fact called a cervical pillow. And it's got something for side sleepers, which I know you are predominantly a side sleeper. It's weird though. It's weird to get used to because it feels a lot lower than any pillow should be, but that's like the point of it, is so it straightens out your spine, because a lot of pillows are too much. You know, your neck is like this kind of thing. Listen, I'll just wait here. Wait 2 seconds. You know what? No, we have the power of the internet at our fingertips. What am I doing?
You could just go get your pillow.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do, but then I would have to get up, and I'm already in enough pain. Cervical pain, not cervical pillow.
Pain is just laziness leaving the body, Matt.
Yeah.
Would you like some more generic platitudes?
Sure, you can do whatever you want. So this is share my screen. Cervical pillow, baby. This is essentially what it looks like. Mine is a bit different. Mine looks more like this one, I guess. But it cradles your head. Your head goes in this little divot, your ear over the little button in the middle. It cradles your head. It dips here. If you can see my mouse. Can you see my mouse?
Yes, I can.
Okay. It dips here so that your neck is like it's cradled, man. It's cradled. And then you're able to, depending on which way you sleep, you're able to put your little arm around it, like with this lady. She cradles her head, then puts her arm around it so she can sleep there. But what it does, it doesn't just help with neck pain, which currently you are suffering from. So, but it also straightens out your spine, which is the big kicker for why I'm using it. Excuse me. It straightens out your spine if there was a diagram, which apparently there's not, which is fine. Doesn't matter. It straightens out your spine, which allows you to not have lower back and mid back pain, as well as obviously neck pain. Like that kind of thing. So with a traditional pillow, you're like arched, but with this pillow, your spine is a lot more straight.
I have too many pillows as it is, man.
You do have a lot of pillows.
And it's crazy because I need each of those pillows to actually fall asleep and like sleep well.
Yeah, it is wild how you sleep. And I loved how, because both of us, at least in college, I tended to sleep with multiple pillows. I had one in between my legs. I had one I was resting my head on. I had one that I was hugging. I was bear hugging it. That's all I needed, really. But I saw the thing where it's like, if you have more than one pillow on your bed, or like more than two pillows, that's a red flag. I was like, excuse me, what do you mean? It's pillow.
A bigger red flag is I know someone that sleeps with no pillows.
Yes, psychopath. That's psychopathic tendencies. That is, I know exactly what you're talking about. Psychopath.
I don't think he listens to this, or his wife, who is our friend. But I was like, "Hey, where's your?" Like, I went over to his house once, and like there was a pillow there, and I was like, "Hey," or no, he had a pillow, but it was like this like small little like travel pillow from an airplane, and I was like, "How do you sleep comfortably with that?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't use it. I just have it there so that like it tricks people into thinking I'm normal." And I was like, "That's
people don't ask questions.
That is actual sociopathic behavior." Like
it is like, but like he'll literally sleep like with his, like an old man, like with his hands clasped over his chest.
Old vampire, just
like he sleeps with his hands clasped behind, like over his chest, no pillow, just straight, and like he's like, sometimes to spice it up, I'll cross my legs. I'm like, what? that's how you spice it up. I wonder if, like, now that they're married and sleeping in the same bed, I wonder if he's changed any of his bedroom tendencies, or if he just straight as a log, just laying there in bed.
I don't know. That's a great question though.
All right. Well, group chat blowing up again right now. Oh my goodness.
See,
That was the most annoying group chat. We were at Sheets eating dinner tonight. It was just like my phone was beep, 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 beep. I'm like, oh my gosh, please, for the love of God, shut up. And it was all over some, not you, but it was all over people not being communicative enough. And it just like kept going when it could have been a two-word interaction. Oh man.
I have two pillows that I have under my head.
Back to this. Yeah.
Oh, I technically got more pillows. I have my Knuff pillow.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I have that like goes next to the two head pillows because if I turn during the night, I don't want to have to bring both pillows with me. So I just take the top layer of pillow and just scoot that with me as I roll.
Yeah.
I then technically have three pillows in one giant pillowcase that I fold up to be my cuddle pillow.
Yeah.
I have another one that I put between my legs, and then I have that Snorlax, like this Squishmallow Snorlax that I eventually every once in a while where will like switch in and out. But the problem right now is my mattress slides, and so like there's beginning to be a gap in between my bed and the wall.
That's the worst.
And so the bottom pillow under my head is going down into the crevice. And I think that's what's messing up my neck. So I got to figure that out. I think I just need to get a new bed frame because it is technically broken.
That's understandable. Have you ever seen German pillows?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay. All right. So I found this on TikTok. It was a German creator. And their pillows are essentially just really big, flat pillows. Like this lady, that is a massive pillow as far as like
dog bed.
Yeah, it's like a big square dog bed, more or less. And it's very flat. Like it's insanely like you're like, how do you sleep on that? How do you sleep comfortably? And there it's like the kind of pillow that you would get like at a middle school sleepover, like when they're out of pillows and blankets. Like it's just a big sleepover full of 20 people, and they're like, yeah, this is what we got, and you just get a big giant pillow. So I figured out why they're big giant flat pillows. It's because they fold them up. So they'll literally take them and they'll fold them into like whatever comfortable way you want to sleep. And voila, you have the perfect pillow. It's wild. Because they just look like really terrible pillows. And then it's just like, well, if you just fold it nicely. Germans are weird.
Do you want a hard pillow or a soft pillow?
So I'm a side sleeper. So I need like a hard pillow. I need a pillow cube, like is what I really need, but they're so dang expensive. But like I need something that's just gonna boom, boom, like fill up this whole shoulder gap, and not sag because then my neck looks like this. And that's very bad. I don't like that.
It's so fun that you mentioned the pillow cube. I'm gonna use this little like section here to transition into a garlic spotlight. And shout out a YouTuber named Scott Kramer, where he has tested the best of a few certain items, like best toilet paper, best gum, and he did one with pillows. In the pillow cube, I think is the one where he's like, I'm actually using this more than pretty much any other pillow now at this point. And like he's like, it's a great pillow.
Oh. So you're telling me I actually need to shell out the like $300 in cash?
I'm not telling you to shell out $300 in cash, but like if I remember that video correctly, I believe he liked the pillow cube.
That's That's so disappointing. I was hoping the reviews would be garbage so that I didn't have to buy this pillow. Like now I have to.
But you don't. That's the thing,
I
Matt.
do. I do because my neck is probably the worst part of my body, and it's because my neck hates me. It's like you want a giant head, then we're gonna make you miserable.
I think that's what the thing that people don't understand is you and I both have giant heads, and like we have to just carry it around on some like flimsy old necks, and like
what I need to start doing is like mega neck exercises, if you will. I need to start like lifting weights with my neck or something. No, that's a very bad idea. Don't do that. For the listeners at home. But I don't know. Maybe it's the traps. Is that what these are? Maybe it's the traps that I need to work out more, or I don't even know. There's not, I mean, like have you ever seen like the really buff guys that have like the V neck, if you will, where it's literally just like muscle. Like this is all muscle. That's what I need.
To hold up clavicle, get a strong clavicle going.
Yeah, exactly. To hold up this giant huevo cabeza, like just massive head.
See, the thing was like, I always knew I had a giant head because my mom always pointed it out to me.
Yeah,
like my mom was the #1 bully for my giant head.
That's lovely. That's really great. My mom was the #1 defender for my giant head. It was all my sisters be like, dude, he's got a massive head. Like his skull is just, it's like a bobblehead. And my mom was like, stop, his head's not that big.
An anthropologist is going to find your skull and think it's a different species.
Listen, it's a lot. I mean, I have an oval head, right? Like you have a pretty round face, pretty round head. Mine's just oval. Like it is just.
You got a long head. I got a wide head.
Yes, I got a long head.
There's a reason I keep the beard. Is because it makes my face not look like.
It looks longer. Well, no, that's like
it makes it angular.
Scientific.
Like it looks like a face and not just a bun.
I don't know if scientifically is the right word, but I'm going to use it anyway. Scientifically, speaking, a beard can change the shape of your face entirely, which is why, and so can hair. So can hairstyles. Like if you have a long head, pulling your hair back, like I'm doing currently, maybe not the best hairstyle for your head. If you have,
because then it just keeps going and then going and then going.
If you have a long head, a long beard, and I mean like kind of like a pointed beard, really ain't gonna do much good for you. A cropped beard, like something like this, like a square beard almost, like that would do wonders for my head. But yeah, not a long beard. I've tried. Like yours would look, that would make my head look 3 times as long.
I feel like it makes my face look like so much fatter, but also like I've seen what I look like without a beard. I think Matt has too. It's just not a good sight.
I broke up with you whenever you shaved your beard. I literally, it was joking. Like I know that I took it a little too far, but I like completely shunned you. Like I was like, I don't even want to look at you right now.
In your defense, I did leave just a mustache.
Oh, it was so disturbing. You know who you kind of looked like low key?
It looked like Loki. Oh
no, you know why can't I remember his name? He's been on Game Changer once. Well, probably
Jacob Wysocki.
Yeah, with the mustache.
Oh, you look like this other fat guy from the internet.
Hold on, no, because he has just the mustache and long hair, and it fit. It fit.
One of my old managers told me I looked like the big guy from Lost, and I was like, "Why? Because I'm fat." He's like, "No, because you guys have long curly hair." And I was like, "That's the only connection we have." He goes, "Well, you are also fat."
At least we pull no punches. You know, if we were pulling punches, then you would just be coasting through life, not knowing anything. It's a joke. Hey, but really, real talk right now. There's nothing wrong. I mean this sincerely. There's nothing wrong with not talking about this new game that I wanted. You thought I was gonna be all sincere and sappy.
I do
No.
want to actually make a point real quick before we get onto your topic, because we are talking about appearances, and I want to talk about why right now it looks like you own a diner in a small town in Connecticut. Um, ladies and gentlemen, we got Luke from Gilmore Girls on the podcast today. I've never seen you wear a shirt like that and your hat backwards. What are you doing?
Oh my goodness. Until you said it, I did not
You
see
didn't
it.
see it?
I didn't see it until literally right this second. Okay. Wow, okay. So the reason that I'm wearing this, did I talk about this already on the pod? No, I didn't. I talked about it before the pod. The reason that I'm wearing this is because no, I did talk about it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So this is your building clothes?
This was my building clothes. This shirt, the buttons are all like broken. Some of them are missing. Like this is my like work dirty shirt, you know. I'm wearing my Bob Ross shirt. No mistakes, only happy accidents. Because if I make a mistake, like drilling through my brother's finger or completely reversing the order of some wooden boards, it's a happy accident, you know? It gives it character. And I'm also wearing
which one of those two things did you do today?
I did a lot of mistakes, but to be completely fair, they were not entirely my fault. It was a collective mistake effort.
It was not my fault. They left me alone.
I also finally, after like 25 years, bought work pants for the first time ever in my life, like work jeans. And I'm so used to wearing nice jeans while I do work. Terrible idea, really. But I'm so used to wearing like my nice jeans while I do work. I was like scared to get these dirty. Like I like just it was like a muscle memory subconscious thing. I was like, oh, I can kneel in the grass right now and get these completely soaked and dirty, and it's not gonna matter at all because they're my work jeans. So yeah, I have work jeans now. They're gonna be my summer planting and yard work pants. They're gonna be my painting pants if I ever paint ever.
Oh.
These are my dirty pants.
I do have a question about your work shirt though.
Yes.
You said that it was missing buttons or they were broken and things like that. Judging by the style of the rest of the shirt though, it was a nice shirt at one point, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it was actually like I got this, I think I thrifted it either probably at the thrift store. But it is really nice. Like I like this shirt a lot. And honestly, I could just like fix up the buttons. Like I could just take these off and put new buttons on. But I don't know how to sew and I don't feel like learning. So it's my work shirt now.
You kind of look like how in like the 90s when they were like doing like when you had like Ross Geller from Friends or some character like that that's like not known for being manly. It's like, well, I'm gonna dress up and look like a workman.
That hurts. That really hurts. You know, I'm just as manly as they all come. Look, I'm even wearing my lucky hat. It says lucky.
It's just got a fish on it and says lucky hat.
And I got this hat at a Dollar General.
You know, with the hat facing this way, it does look very. I know who you're voting for, brother.
Yes. I that's why I wasn't wearing it this way because it looks stupid. It look like I just need a fish hook right here to kind
Oh
of
yeah.
complete the look. I don't fish, by the way. I bought this hat like for irony's sake. Like I saw it and I'm like, I gotta have that. And then everybody's gonna look at me and be like, man, you fish? And I'm gonna be like, absolutely not. I fish
For compliments.
for compliments. Yeah.
Hey Matt, I like your beard,
Hey Connor, thanks.
but I think you should get rid of it because it covers up of how much of a cute face you have.
Nope, 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 nope. It looks terrible. Terrible. It looks real bad. And I vote no.
That's fair. Hey, you want to talk about crabs?
I do want to talk about crabs. Oh my gosh, how'd you know?
Because crab with a gun, I believe is what it's called, dropped either today or like recently.
Okay, it's called Another Crab's Treasure.
Uh-huh.
It did drop today.
The name of the game is definitely just a crab with a gun.
It's called Another Crab's Treasure. But you can get a gun shell to where you're just shooting underground, like undersea creatures, which is hilarious to me. So this was one of my most anticipated games of this year. I have a couple on the list that I'm looking forward to quite a lot, i.e. Star Wars Outlaws, and the other one, Tales of the Shire, which is basically Animal Crossing but with hobbits. Anyway, so this game I've actually been following for quite a while. I found the account on TikTok, where it was like literally the developers TikTok, and they were making videos about developing the game. So I've literally been with it since like they were creating the characters. So I've been with it for a while, not to be all hipster on you. But I've been anticipating this game for quite some time because it's cute Dark Souls. Like that's essentially what the game is. It's
Oh
Dark
yeah.
Souls. So it's a Souls-like game. And it is adorable. You're a little crab who's
Doesn't his house get repossessed by the IRS?
yeah, his little shell gets repossessed by a loan shark.
That's what it is. Yeah.
which isn't even a real shark. It's literally like one of those little grabber things, like those plastic grabber toys. It's literally like one of those with like a little hat on top. It's amazing. So your house, your shell gets repossessed, and the whole time you're going, I believe you're looking for, like, you're trying to get your shell back, the shell you started with. But throughout the game, as a hermit crab does, you kind of go back and forth between shells. And for those of you who don't know, hermit crabs do that because they grow. They want to switch shells because theirs is cracked or broken, or because they're too big now for that shell. So when you have pet hermit crabs, you sometimes have to let them change their shell. And first of all, do a little research before you get hermit crabs from Virginia Beach, please, because you need to know how to take care of those before you just take them home. They're not that easy. Let me get back on topic. Yeah, so you go throughout the whole game fighting Dark Souls-esque monsters, monsters as in sea creatures, and trying to get your shell back. And it looks amazing. It looks absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah. It's one of those games that like I thought had been out for a while now, but just knowing it's out now, and the fact that it's on on Switch, I might get it.
I think you should. So if it being a Souls-like game intimidates you, don't let it. Not you specifically, but the readers.
The
Oh my god,
readers.
the listeners as
Welcome to
well.
this audio book that you still have to read.
So gosh. So
You had such a long day today, man.
yeah, man, I am exhausted. I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning because Mia was like, I gotta wake up early. Anyway, so back to it. The game is not, it doesn't look like it's gonna be Dark Souls tough, if that makes sense. Like it looks like it's going to be very similar. It looks like there's a lot of dodging and attacking and then retreating and then dodging and attacking and retreating, like similar to Dark Souls. I don't think it's going to be like one hit kills all the time, stuff like that, where you're just going to die constantly and rage quit the game. It looks like it's a little bit easier than that, a little bit more enjoyable, in my opinion. I'm such a gamer. I despise Dark Souls. I just never find enjoyment in them. And it's because I'm not good and I don't have the patience to get good. But that is why I don't like those games. Pause. One moment for me. Just one moment, please.
Mike Trap, I've come up with a game just for you. Okay. Oh, great. Except iffy, I've created a game.
Connor, I don't know why you would interrupt this beautiful podcast with whatever the heck you're doing right now, but if we could just like bring it back, just like center it back on the podcast and focus, I would really appreciate that.
So Luke has his own diner in Stars Hollow that used to be owned by his dad and was the town's hardware shop until Luke took it over after his dad died, decided that he wanted to open up a diner and serve food. Luke's part wasn't originally supposed to be as big as it was, but Scott Patterson and Lindsey Graham, nope, that's a Republican, I think. Whatever her name was, I can't remember it right now. They had such great chemistry that they just kept expanding his part up into the point of putting them together as a couple. It was also the place where we got to see Lorelai's coffee addiction blossom, as he would always give her free cups of coffee, do something special for Rory, just all around be a great guy. Now, Luke definitely has his flaws. Doesn't mean he wasn't admirable.
So first question. Why does it sound like they live in a town that Halloween would just constantly be taking place? Second question. What does this have to do with crabs?
Well, one, they definitely have a lot of like festivals and fairs and stuff that the town participates in. Because like I said, it's a small little town up in Connecticut. And so like it's not unfair to say that they have. I don't know if they particularly have Halloween all the time, but like there's definitely something going on. You know how it is,
right? But Stars Hollow, like that is very like Halloween movie. Like,
sorry, no, you're thinking of Halloween Town.
I'm actually thinking of Sleepy Hollow, which is like the Headless Horseman story, correct?
Yeah, that's more the Brothers Grimm than Halloween, but sure.
Okay, continue with the second question. I really want to know what this has to do with crabs.
Crabs? It has absolutely nothing to do with crabs. You were just berating me, so I thought it'd be funny to go back to a previous topic
know.
and just subvert what you were doing and turn myself into the hero of the podcast.
Yeah, it doesn't really ring a bell. Any of what you just said. I don't. It doesn't. Hmm. That's interesting. That's interesting that you said any of that.
Yeah.
It's really. Hmm. Well, no harm, no forgiven. Forget. Well, when life gives you lemons.
Matt, you know what we got to talk about, and I'm really hoping you're caught up on so that we can talk about it.
Your mom got him. Sorry. What? Bluey? Bluey? I am caught up on Bluey. Just so we're clear.
I mean, that's definitely not what I was going to talk about, but we could definitely talk about that.
I mean, they just released 2 insanely good episodes. 3.
All right,
3
well, let's
insane.
talk about this first. What do you mean 3?
They released 3 new episodes. One was 28 minutes long.
Yeah, there was The Sign and then Surprise. Those were the 2 like big episode releases.
And then they just did one more. Or was it before? I think it was before The Sign. That one was new too. I hadn't seen that one. I don't remember what it was called, but
I didn't know that was a big.
Ghost Basket.
I didn't watch Ghost Basket.
See, Ghost Basket was one of the new 3. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
The Sign. Fantastic media.
Oh, mwah, it was so good. Did you see? Oh my goodness, I don't want to spoil it. Screw it. Do you see? Her sister was pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah, Chili's sister was pregnant. Rad and oh my goodness. The babysitter who apparently was lifelong friends with Chili. I never got that impression.
Yeah, I don't know. I missed that too.
But those 2 got married, which was so nice. Because I remember the episode where like they first met and everything, and so it's like fun that they've kept it moving forward cinematically. And like this is the thing, like with cartoons, is you have a lot of times where the cartoon goes on, nothing changes, no one gets older. I mean, The Simpsons has been running for like 40-ish years now, and they're still the same ages. But Bluey and Bingo are getting older. Time is passing. And it doesn't take anything away from it when you're rewatching it from the beginning to be like, oh, well, Bluey's 6 now instead of 7, however old she was. But like you have all of that, and just like the small details in the background of the wedding just were fantastic.
Yeah, no, I was so stoked because that scene or the episode with Chili's sister and like how she was saying, yeah, like to Bluey, she's like she's just not able to like have kids and like all this stuff. I was heartbroken. First of all, 2 grown men talking about Bluey is probably the most wholesome thing you'll ever hear. So please, everybody, share this with your wholesome friends. This is a podcast for wholesome people. Second of all, I was heartbroken, completely gut wrenched. And then when I saw this last episode, I was tearing up. I will honestly say I was ready to shed one.
One thing that like made me super like, I guess warm inside is the best way to put it. Like just like heart filled or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Was that Socks is now talking. Muffin's little sister.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this show so much.
It's so good. And then so the full on spoilers for The Sign now. The healers are selling their house because Bandit got a new job in a different city. The girls don't want to go. And you can tell neither of the parents really want to go either, but it's just one of those things that kind of happens. To a couple of sheepdogs, I think is what they call them. While this is all happening, they're also planning the wedding for Brandy. That was her name, Brandy and
Yes.
Rad. And so they're having their wedding at the house. The girls realize that they come up with the idea if they take the sign out of the front of the house that says the house is for sale, that the house can no longer be sold. Brandy then goes and tries to help them because she doesn't want it out there while the wedding is happening. Finds out that Rad wants to move them to the other side of Australia, and she doesn't want to do that, so she calls off the wedding and runs away. Well, Chili is really desperate to make sure that the wedding happens, and throws all of the girls into the van. And Bluey finally gets to sit in the front seat because, according to Queensland law, you can be four and over. Like there's some law that basically says like even though she's 7, she can sit in the front seat.
Yeah.
And this is important because the cop then pulls them over because the cop doesn't think that she should be in the front seat. But then Chili shows her the law, and he's like, "Oh, you are right. Okay, that's fine." And then casually mentions somebody else he gave a ticket to earlier in the day, which sidebar for me was wildly just like inappropriate. Like you don't just say like, "Yeah, I pulled over this one lady earlier going 80 in a 25." First of all, that's reckless driving.
Right.
And like I know there's not like a HIPAA for like your legal defense, but like don't share that with people, man. But that clue gives us the next place to find Brandy. And to spare the long details of it all, they're driving around and a butterfly flies into the car, scares the girls, and Chili pulls over to help like calm it down for a second. And they see a sign to go to like a nature wildlife clearing grotto thing. And Chili remembers that she and Brandy used to go there all the time when they were little girls, and decides that we'll take a second stop here and go there. Or I think maybe she remembers like that's where Brandy probably would be and everything, because they find her there. Brandy and Chili start talking while the children go over to a coin operated binocular. At some point in the day, Bluey found a lucky coin. She tried putting it in the machine, but put it in the wrong way. The sheepdogs eventually come by, find the coin lodge in there, unlodge the coin, find another house that they like that actually has a pool because that was the big thing that they wanted, and decide not to buy the house. And Bandit gets the call after they've packed up the entire house. They're like about to leave to move.
Yeah.
Everything is out. The realtor calls and is like, "Hey, the guy backed out. We can't sell your house anymore." And Bandit does the most hardcore thing I've ever done, where he just like straight ahead, no words, is staring, starts shaking, gets out of the car, goes over, rips this sign out of the ground, and just chucks it.
Which
And
I would like to point out, at least I don't know how it works in Australia. Quick sidebar. You cannot back out of a house in America. Again, I don't know if it's different in Queensland. You cannot back out of a house once you've like sold it and signed the papers, like, or bought it and signed the papers, and those people have moved out. Like, I know that they didn't want to sell the house and they were stoked about it, oddly enough. You can't do that. That's just not how buying a house works. But continue. I'm sorry. That frustrated me a lot because I just went through buying a house and they were like, this is the point of no return. Like, if you sign the
once you
papers right
sign
here,
this, it's your house.
it's your house. Like, there's nothing you can do. You cannot back out of this, even if you like. I mean, for extreme circumstances like loss of funds or something like that, yeah. But like in the case of that, you can't.
In fairness to the writers. I believe I saw a TikTok of a guy who was like, in Australia, there's a concept of like a no fault out. Like there's like hey, I want out. I don't have to do this. And there's no penalties towards either side of the party if that decides to happen. Like you have like 30 days where you can be like, actually, I want to be out, and you're just out, and it happens. And so there's no way to know if they were within that 30 days if that is real.
Right.
I doubt they would be is if the final sale had gone through. That's typically when people move out of the house, not
Right.
like
You
the
don't-
house is officially being sold. Like
You don't move out of the house. Obviously, I guess if they had another house lined up and they were just freely able to go, but you don't usually do that until after you get the funds from the house, like that you're selling, like the down payment and all that jazz. So you don't normally do that and buy another house unless you are rich and you have money, which they are not. So you don't normally move out before the period of they cannot back out, because if they back out anywhere in that time, then you're screwed.
and they didn't make any mention of them going and looking at other houses or like say they had the house lined up to go to, which makes sense because like the whole point is that they're not going to move in the end. But all of that being said, my favorite detail of the episode is one that I didn't cover yet, but it's basically the catalyst for why everyone's able to have such a happy ending. When Bluey is in her like little class at the beginning, the teacher is reading a book to everyone, and there's two students. One is a little like I think he's like a bulldog, named Winston, and he's like, my dad has a pool. He's sad a lot now that it's just us. And then one of the other dogs is like a I think it's the terriers because there's like 3 triplets, and they go, our mom really likes your dad. And then when the sheepdogs are looking through the binoculars, they see the 2 kids, like those 2 kids, their parents are like getting together and talking, and they're driving away from what was Winston's dad's house, and that's the house they buy. So enough time has passed for those kids' parents to meet, fall in love, and then decide to move into with each other. That's what makes them then back out of selling the house.
That's amazing. They sneak in so many like little details like that in the show, like just throughout the whole thing, honestly. And it's amazing. This show is superb. By the way, you started with I really hope you're caught up with this so we can talk about it. What were you talking about? Because it wasn't.
I originally was gonna fan over X-Men 97, but we still have another episode of Bluey to talk about.
I am not caught up, so we should save that for next week when I will be caught up.
Okay. The next episode of Bluey was called The Surprise, or just Surprise, or something like that.
Yeah.
Main consensus of this the episode is Bandit is trying to watch racing. Bingo wants to play mom. Bluey wants to play robotic dart ball cannon arm game. Basically, she hides in the house, shouts surprise, and starts shooting Bandit with a dart gun ball shooter like Zurg's arm from Toy Story.
Yeah,
that seemingly has unlimited ammo in it.
Yeah, it's like a Nerf gun that every kid wishes they had, that they could just keep shooting indefinitely.
Not once in the show does she reload it.
I mean, you see the balls like disappear, I guess, like they're not where they were previously. So I can assume that like in between surprises, she picked those up and refilled. Maybe it's like a vacuum, like a suck and propel vacuum where it just all the balls and then all the balls.
I guess. But This is like one of the first times we see the girls want to play different games or not really like played together anymore.
Yeah.
Which in itself is such like a deep thing because it shows like that's a developmental milestone of like we have two different interests now. It's showing like that Bluey is older and she's growing up.
Yeah.
Even though like she's still a little kid and wants to shoot her dad. With
Who doesn't?
a toy. With a toy. Anyways, so like at one point Bandit tries to convince both Bingo and Bluey to play the same game. Bingo really just wants to play mom. She keeps having all these different kids, and some of them have different issues and things like that. And Bluey only has that toy for the weekend because she's borrowing it from a friend, so she wants to use it as much as possible. And so it's basically just like the lesson is like learning how to balance two different people that you have to work with in life, and how like you can still have both sort of experiences.
Yeah.
That is until we get to the last minute and a half of this episode,
Right.
where very much like the episode with Jean-Luc in it, there is a time jump at the end of it,
Where
and
Bluey
we
is
see
now probably 30s, 40s, not 30s.
I'd say late 20s, early 30s,
Yeah.
and she's come over for a visit. Bluey, Bingo, Bandit, and Chili still living in the same house. They make you believe your dad almost sold this house or whatever. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Bingo's in the back at the barbecue. Chili and Bluey walk away, and then as Bandit's walking away, he hears the doorbell, and he goes and looks. And this is a similar bit to that Bluey did earlier in the episode, where he's like, "Huh, there's no one there," and then we see an outside view of the door, and there's a little dog standing next to it with a more advanced form of the ball shooter.
Yeah.
That looks like Bluey mixed with a another friend we know from the show, Mackenzie.
The border collie.
We have an Australian Shepherd and Border Collie mix. Possible.
It has been hinted at, I think, by the creators, question mark. I can't remember exactly. It has been hinted at a little bit that Mackenzie is going to be the one that Bluey ends up with. However, I would like to give you this little snippet, this little picture for you, because I am of the Bluey Jean-Luc ship,
I think it's Jean-Luc as well.
and I want to show you this exact picture, right here. Which, if you look at this picture,
the kid is the same color as Jean-Luc.
yes, like it's got the same bluish hue that Jean-Luc does. And that's not the kid. That is like a fan mix of the two. But the kid that we saw is that's a blurry picture, of course it is right here. It's still blurry, but it's fine. You see like the blues, same blues in this picture. Where they kind of recreated this just like a little bit older with better view. I still think it could be Jean-Luc. That's my hope, because I think that them.
Well, look.
Oh, I'm
what
sorry.
does Mackenzie look like?
Mackenzie is black and white border collie. I can see the resemblance because if you mix Bluey's light blue with his dark black, you might get something like that light shaded blue. So I guess it's still possible. And Mackenzie has the bent ear, which that kid also has. So I think they're hinting at that. but I'm still holding out hope. Still holding out hope that someday her and John Luke will reconnect. Even if, listen, it was a quick passing thing, and honestly, the possibility of them meeting ever again is very low. And I hope that they bring John Luke back eventually,
Well-
even if it's like college, like Bluey goes to college, and it's like a brief interaction where they meet up again, and they're like, "Hey, you remember me?" And they're like, "Oh my goodness, I remember you." And then like they go and get coffee and like they hang out as friends.
Well,
That's so
we know they see each other again, but it's not until they're much older,
right.
where they re-meet at that creek, and
Right. I remember
we
that.
see them there and everything. And so, like, we don't know how old either of them are in that situation, but we
Yeah.
could be like, hey, this could be what starts their relationship. Clearly, Jean-Luc is somehow around again, so even if he's just like visiting for the weekend or whatever, like that keeps them in touch. Maybe she eventually moves to France, and that's why they haven't seen them in a little while.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's so sweet, like just to think about. But like the episode with Jean-Luc for non-Bluey watchers, first of all, what are you doing? Second
Go
of
watch
all,
Bluey. You don't need a kid to watch Bluey.
you don't need a kid. We have no kids, and Mia and I watch it giddily when new episodes come out. John Luke's episode was the episode where they went camping and she ran into John Luke and had to overcome the barrier of somebody only speaking a different language. So literally every night they were going to like hang out, or every day, whatever. They were going to hang out. They met at this little creek, and they hung out there without using any like common language. And so they had to figure out how to talk to each other. It's a really cool episode about like being with people, friends with people that don't speak your language. It's hard to communicate with, and overcoming those challenges. It's a really nice episode. But I thought it would be absolutely adorable if they came back like they did years later and then like rekindled their love, their friendship, and it turned into love. That's what I wanted. Still holding that hope.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
I guess so.
Boy, wasn't that just fun listening to two grown men talking about a kid's show for 25 minutes. If you'd like to hear more of us just talk about nonsense for a long time, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, as well as listen to the other shows that we do. You can listen to TGB One Shots every Tuesday, and listen to the Clever Boy Quiz, the show, every other Thursday. This episode goes out, so there will be a new episode of both of those shows this week. Check them out. The One Shots cast is going to be on this episode again for a Clever Boy Quiz, so it's going to be fun for you to listen to. If you'd like to watch the Clever Boy Quiz, the show, as well as other exclusive content that we have available, you can head on over to patreon.com/@thegarlicboys. And if you sub to us for $10 a month to support, then you get access to all of those episodes free, ad-free. But if you're like, hey, I kind of just want to support you guys, $10 is a lot for me right now. I fully understand that. We have a $3 a month tier as well. If you'd like to support us in other ways and like, hey, $10 enough a month isn't enough for me, how can I give you more money? Well, head on over to our Redbubble store. Check out some of the awesome designs we have over there. You can buy it on your favorite item to purchase, including stickers, t-shirts, and aprons. Final thing from us, though, if you go over to youtube.com/@thegarlicboys, you can watch video versions of the podcast every week uh, for like 4 weeks back or whatever. So, like, if you have a favorite episode and you want to see us while you hear us, go and check that out on youtube.com/@thegarlicboys. Matt, do you have a supplementary mom report for this week?
I do, and it is, we were incorrect earlier. I'm going to go with Brandy Healer, which is the sister who couldn't get pregnant before. Frisky is the one who
Oh,
got married
Frisky.
to Rad. Yes.
Okay.
Frisky was the one who got married to Rad. Brandy is the one who couldn't, but now is pregnant. So I'm gonna go with her because she is a kick-ass mom. Sorry, but she is. She's awesome.
And I feel like we've done her before, but I just got to shout out Chili again.
Heck yeah.
Well, she always does her best to make sure everyone
Bluey.
is safe and happy. I was gonna say Bluey, but then I was like, that feels a little weird. I still think of her as a toddler, so or not a
Fair
toddler, but like a child. So
yeah,
we'll keep it there. Matt, any final thoughts for this week?
If you are a developer of the crab game and you want to sponsor us, hit me up, bro. And
We'd love to talk to you about the crab game.
Those garlicboys@gmail.com, baby.
Same with the writers of Bluey.
Yes. Oh, please. We'll talk about every episode.
Talk about the show every episode. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, remember to
stay Bluey.
Got
him. It's a Bluey show now.
The garlic blueies.
The garlic Bluey. Oh no. No.